Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back to part 26 of the ERA build. And you rejoin us here, Mark having built up the subframe in the last episode. I do apologise, it finished quite abruptly, but kind of the next step was Mark having some problems, so there was quite a bit of talking, so I decided to split the episodes up.
Right, so I've hit a little problem. The subframe don't fit. It's the original subframe. I didn't do any welding to the rear hill board, is it? And I don't. Well, I've got an idea why it don't fit. So basically, it's the bolts go in that side, but they're about 6 mil off on this side. The subframe mount needs to go that way, but it can't. So these are the original mounts, and you'll notice that the bigger part of the rubber is on the outside, which is actually incorrect. And then so I've put the new mounts the correct way, as opposed to that, but with them being the right way round, that can't move in that way. So if I change them around so they're the wrong way round, but as I took the old ones off, then that should slide on that rubber, because that will do that, which I need that to do that way. So it's really annoying. I've got to take this whole section off on both sides, swap the poly bushes round, and then I've also the negative camber brackets that I bought from Mini Spares. I don't know if you can see, but they've got this plate welded on, and that part of the mount is actually hitting that plate there, in there. So when I take that off, I think I'm going to have to grind that section out of that side. These are the old camber brackets, which I didn't want to fit because, you know, the car's done 265,000 miles, but even then you can see it was rubbing there. So so there's a number. There's two things. There's the mount. The poly bush needs to be put round the other way, and I need to notch a bit out of this plate here to allow that to move inwards. You know, I've got 5 mil there, maybe 3 or 4, and the same on both sides, then that should fit. So I'm going to get on with that. I'm not going to record it. I'll let you know how it goes after. Bingo! I've got them all in, so yeah, I've had to, you can see the difference there. I've had to swap them around. For some reason it's made a difference. So yeah, I've got all the bolts in, I'll just tighten them all up.
Right, I'm pretty sure that's going to create some controversy with the subframe mounts. It's quite a hot topic among mini forums, and I've done some thinking about it myself in the past, and Mark asked me for my advice regarding this, and I'm open to suggestion as well. So from my understanding, the subframe bushes on those front trunnions are there to stop lateral movement, and whichever way you put the bush it will stop lateral movement provided both bushes are the same way round, whether the correct way or incorrect way. If you put one in one way round and the other in the other way round, you will get lateral movement in the subframe. Now I did see on some forums, and I can't remember who it was, so apologise if you watch this channel, but someone said it makes a big difference, and I asked why, and unfortunately they couldn't give an explanation for why. So if you do know, let me know, it'd be interesting to know. I guess ultimately the question is, why is it like that, and why has it been a problem? So as you know, if you'd have watched the earlier videos, we've not replaced the heel board. The heel board has remained in place. So as you can see, the bushes were fitted the wrong way round, and this again is a difficult subject because some manuals, the drawings are drawn incorrectly, but from what I've seen of every standard car that come out the factory, they were fitted with the wider part of the bush on the closest part to the subframe and the narrower part on the outside. So like I say, heel board's not being replaced on the ERA. My thinking is they were probably fitted the wrong way last time because there was maybe that same issue, and unfortunately the only thing Mark didn't do there was measure the gap between the bolts holes on both sides, so it should be 1280mm.
Right, today I am building up the front subframe. The only thing I haven't got is the left-hand front hub. So I've got to build up the right-hand hub, driver's side. So I'm going to show you me doing that. Just show you all the bits we've got. Powder coated subframe. I've already put the bump stops on, so I don't forget. Yeah, so everything's new. So the new old stock calipers, but everything else is, although they're new, everything else is brand new. So yeah, I'm gonna get the bits I need. I don't need them, and I will. You'll have to bear with me. Although I've done this with Keith, I did watch William Murphy's video this morning on front wheel bearings and building up the front hub. So I've got the other minis here for pointers, so you'll have to bear with us because I just need to kind of refresh my memory as I'm doing it. So I need the wheel bearings. Obviously Timken ones. Excuse the mess, I'm not as tidy as Keith. So I've only got one of the hubs, I'm waiting for the other one to come from mini spares, so a bit of a nightmare, but yeah. So with a lot of stuff I've been doing, I kept all the old hubs and just all the bits and pieces. Because in my mind I can effectively reverse engineer, take it all apart, which I've done with that, and I know how it all goes back together again. So right, so we've got that. I did notice on Will's video that he mentioned that these locking pins don't come with the wheel bearing kits. But this is just is it Timken? Yeah, Timken wheel bearing kit, and it's got everything in it. It's from mini spares, so I will keep these as spares. Split pins. So the only thing it doesn't come with is the grease, which is a bit stupid. Let's just make sure I've got some grease. Very odd they don't come with grease. Right, I'm back again. I found out I can use the moly grease, so yeah, I'm going to get on with this. So I am going to do this side first, the pin goes on the other side. I did notice that Will didn't do this. So I did freeze the race washers yesterday, and it didn't make it any easier or harder, so I'm not going to do that this time. Just gonna put a little bit of grease in there. Maybe wrong, but classic mini DIY says it's okay. Bugger. Balls. Now I've got to get all that out of there. Unbelievable. Messy, messy, messy job. I think that's in there too much, isn't it? That one done. So, race. I am a mole and I live in a hole.
Sorry, Mark, I had to leave that bit in. So just for the viewers, when I'm editing this footage, I almost need to watch all of it, which takes a very long time when it's time-lapse like this. So basically I watch it on fast speed and then I look for the sound signature to see if Mark's talking, and every now and again he does little mumblings and it throws me off.
Right, so I've not been sent the spacer bar between them. That for some reason, so I'm sure they are not it. So I'll just take these off of here.
So just quickly, I will give an explanation in a moment, but that spacer bar is not fitted on all minis, so I'll explain in a moment.
Right, I'm just going to clean that up. Right, I've cleaned it up, but because that's black, I'm just going to go and give it a spray and I'll fit that later. So, right, so ball joints now. Again, I watched Will's video, William Murphy. I did buy extra shims just in case. Well, I know I need them. That.
So the space bars Mark was talking about go underneath the steering arm where the track rod bolts on, and they are there to reduce or prevent the amount of bump steer, which is when you go over a bump it causes the steering angle to increase on minis, and it's caused by having a shorter top arm than the bottom arm, and that problem's exacerbated on an ERA because it has negative camber lower arms which are slightly longer.
Sorry, battery cut out. Right, so I've only done that hand tight.
So you might never have experienced bump steer, or you might not have recognised it. When I say it causes the steering angle to increase, depending on the steering geometry, it can actually do the opposite, but in most cases it increases the steering angle. So if you're going around a corner, say for instance if you're going around a roundabout and there's a bump in that roundabout and the suspension compresses or goes up, where, like I say, you have a shorter top arm and a longer bottom arm on the track arms, that causes the steering angle to increase. So it makes the car actually gives the feeling of turning in tighter. So on the ERA, like I say, they have negative camber bottom arms which are slightly longer than standard bottom arms, so they have more bump steer than you would get on a standard geometry setup. So they fit the spacer in there to lift up the steering arm and bring it closer to the height of the top arm, which reduces the amount of bump steer.
Right, I spent an hour shimming that. It's all, it was alright. Yeah, it's fine. One's tighter than the other, but only my own strength.
Bit of a disclaimer, I've watched this clip a few times and I initially thought it was Mark trying to move the swivel joint and it looked way too tight to me, but looking at it again I think he was just trying to undo that nut, but I will double check with him because it shouldn't be that tight.
I might have a problem with the calipers, so I'm going to get the hubs on the drive, the flanges on the discs, so they're ready. I'm just going to mark on these as well because they're handed.
I was actually talking to a viewer the other day about having swivels that were too tight. It's easily done, and he said it done them too tight and the steering wouldn't self-center. The other problem which I've seen in the past is if they're too tight they will actually undo themselves as you turn the steering, so yeah, just because of the mechanical friction, so you do need to be careful at having them too tight.
Now I'm going to get on with building the subframe up.
So once again, apologies for cutting it off a bit sharp there, but I need to try and keep them to chapters. Thank you for viewing and see you again soon.